Well, I was sitting here today and recording some more songs like I do most every day. And I got to thinking that I know I'll never be a big singer and I don't have the sweetest sounding voice, but sometimes when I'm doing some of the songs, I can feel them here, right beside me. And my voice gets just a little bit better. It's kind of like talking to God, but doing it with a song. Well, I've done a lot of story songs in the last couple of years, and I thought I needed to write one of my own. It took quite a while to get everything written down and to do the actual recording. And I call this one The Other Night I Had a Dream. Well, I was tired the other night, and I went to bed a little bit earlier than normal, and I thought I had just dozed off when I guess I started dreaming like we all do at times. But this dream was different. There was wonderful music and lots of angels flying around, and during this dream I heard a knock on the front door. And I thought to myself that it was really late and I was wondering who'd be knocking on my door this time of night. So I got up, and when I opened the door, I saw him standing there. As big as can be, it was Jesus. Well, I was kind of shocked to see him standing there when I opened the door, but I invited him in and we sat down and we talked for most of the rest of the night. He explained to me why sometimes in my life I had to suffer and that he was always there, just like in the story about the footprints where he walked beside me and sometimes he carried me. I know you're probably asking yourself, I wonder what he looks like. Well, you won't believe me when I tell you, but he looked just like I thought he would. He had long hair, a beard, and he was wearing a robe, and he even wore sandals. He actually looked a lot like he did in the pictures that I always saw in church. I asked him what he wanted, and he said he had come to take me home with him tonight, and that I could sit right next to him on his throne in heaven, and he said I could even bring my guitar. I could sing with all the angels, and he said you'll never miss a note in heaven, Don. Well, I told him I wanted to go with him, but there are just a few more things I'd like to do before I go, and he asked me why these things were so important to me. I told him that I've had many blessings in my life with all my friends and family, and I've always known there are lots of things in life, that my life especially, that needed just a little bit more attention. I'd like to have a few more days to say goodbye to my friends and family and to tell them I love them more than anything else. I wanted to tell them all that the times when my sense of humor might have been a little bit different than most, that I never intended to hurt their feelings or to offend them. I've always kind of thought that you never teased or joked with someone you didn't like. Sometimes we all forget things and we get busy in our life and we think we'll have plenty of time to fix it later. Sometimes we have words with someone, or we just walk out the front door and we don't say I love you. And sometimes we walk out mad about something that isn't even important. But we all think that there's going to be lots of time to make up, and they'll get over the bad words I used or the mean comments I just made. We forget that they have feelings, and sometimes these comments can make long, deep scars. Sometimes we forget that the little ones in our lives are watching and listening, and they don't always understand what we're saying and why we use the words and the tones that we do when we're talking to others. But they will remember them, so be careful what little ears are hearing when you speak and what little eyes are seeing. I would like to get my things in order to make it easier for my family, to prepare for my leaving and to tell them that someday we will all meet in heaven and that I'll be watching for them when they walk up those golden stairs. And I'm going to ask God to prepare a house for them right next to mine, and we'll all be together again someday. Well, Jesus thought about it for a little bit, and he said he would give me one more day to do these things and that I should be ready to go the next time I hear him knocking. I asked him, before you leave, I always wondered, what is heaven like? And who will I see there? And what is there to do in heaven? He said, Don, heaven is such a beautiful place with all the angels flying around, and you really like this part because you're going to hear some of the best music your ears have ever heard. And everyone is always happy all the time. There's no sickness or suffering in heaven. And all your loved ones who've gone before you will be there waiting to talk to you. And they'll all show you around heaven. He said, heaven, there's so much to do, and the best part is no matter what you try, it always works, and you always win. The sun is always shining, and the birds are singing so sweet. I told him I can't wait to see it, and when I looked up, he was gone. He just disappeared, and I thought I was all alone, but then I remembered that I wasn't really alone. He's always with us every day and every night, and he hears us talking, and he knows our thoughts, and he sees exactly what we're doing. Sometimes when we think he isn't listening to us when we call on him, but he makes things work out for us, and sometimes he just says no. And we have to live with what we just said or what we just did or thought. Are you ready to have your dream? And if you hear him knocking, are you ready to go? But we never know when he'll come to take us home. But we should always be happy in the knowledge that he will come, and he will take us home with him. Someday you too will have your dream, and you'll hear him knocking on your door. And if he decides to call me home before he calls you, remember, I'll walk slow, and I'll be watching for you when you walk up those stairs. Kind of hard to believe that someday I might be an angel, and I'll be there to show you around heaven. Well, I better close out of this one, and the main thing to remember is I love you, and we'll meet again someday.